YouTubers and subscribers, RoseRed17 here, and here is Eden Zero Volume 4, Chapters 24 to 32, and here we go. It starts out with Witch and Happy willing to land on the planet to save Shiki and the others before the corona phase swallows up the planet's time and most likely cease to exist. Shiki is dealing with Jin as the battle still goes on. Sister shows up giving Jim another order, but then she joins the fight as well. Meanwhile, Rebecca and the other girls escaping while someone's gone missing. Rebecca turns back to look for the missing girl as the others continue towards the exit, and then we get Waze pointing a gun at Hamura waiting for her to speak the truth when something happens. They follow the strange sound down below and discover the real sister of Eden Zero. So yeah, the one that Shiki's fighting against turns out to be a fake, and that explains why Witch didn't recognize her. The fight goes on between Shiki and the fake sister's gunman? Bitch, you're really gonna have someone else fight your fights? What a coward. Shiki blows away the gunman, and then the fake sister makes a dick move by using Jin as her shield. That makes Shiki piss off. Yeah, I'd be ticked off too. Meanwhile, Rebecca is searching for the missing girl Kuba and stumbles upon a disturbing sight. She finds Copa, but also Two-Face, and forces Rebecca to get down on her knees with her head on the ground and plans to keep Rebecca as his toy. But then news comes around about the corona phase heading towards the planet. But Two-Face here doesn't want to leave the planet, and while he's complaining to the other guy, Rebecca takes this opportunity to steal his gun, free Copa, and shoot him in the head. At the same time, Shiki takes out the fake sister's men, and then the real sister shows up, and it reveals that sister's powers being used for the fake's personal reason. Hamura discovered the identity of the real sister from the machine that was attached to her, and Waze freed her with his machine maker. They followed behind sister and found Shiki to warn her about the corona phase, but Jin was wondering who the woman was, and the real sister seemed to ask the same question as she told him about taking a job 10 years ago. She was surrounded by strange people and then attached her to the machine that transferred her powers into the fake sister, but she discussed that she never meant to take it that far and willing to apologize. But you see, ladies and gentlemen, Sister Ivory is a freaking savage and beats her ass with a single kick. And she noticed Shiki as the new Demon King and think he's wimpy. But then he tells them that she heard everything and wanted to go back to Eden Zero. But before they leave, Sister must complete the job that she was sent to do 10 years ago, and that is healing or more likely unfreezing the stone women. And now they head back, and Shiki told Jin to escape as well. But Jin has now recently unfinished business with the sister he's been obeying for years, and he is not happy about her, as the only reason he followed her order is to a promise that she will heal his sister. The people on the planet evacuate, and Rebecca had Koba reunite with the other B-Cuber and willing to go back for Shiki. The chapter ends with Sister fooling, laughing, and smiling to the fact they only have 10 minutes to escape. This woman's really something. Kinda like her. Next, the citizens are in a panic while Rebecca and Pina are waiting for Shiki, and while they are waiting, plants start to grow out of the ground, destroying the building, and Rebecca was about to fall into the pit until Gravity Boy saves the day. Come on, like you guys didn't see that coming. And I have noticed that whenever Rebecca falls into an endless pit, Shiki's always the one to save her at the last minute. Anyway, Shiki and the crew sees the EZ ship, but it fails to land with the tall trees in the way, and have the crew cut them down for a proper landing, but the trees are growing too fast for the ships to land. But Shiki comes up with an idea to grab the crew and launch everyone to the ship itself. God, I love this character. And just in time to escape from the time-eating creature that took away 1200 years of the planet's time. Well, that explains the growing trees. The planet went back to the time when buildings, cities, and people didn't even exist yet, but also many lives were lost in the process, but should I say not even born yet, but it's still tragic. Now Shiki and the others watch the creature eat the planet, then here comes Witch discussing how much time the creature has taken away, and thus her and sister are reunited along with Rebecca and Happy. The crew are happy, but Rebecca seemed to remember the torture and thus causing her to fear and cry, saying why is she scared now? That is a good question. I guess because she did not think much at the time and her bravery overpowered the fear that she was feeling during the whole incident. Not to mention she has been through other tough situations. They all were, and Shiki mentioned that he was scared too, but he had to save his friends, and I like when he starts crying in ways of just telling him to stop. While that is going on, Witch and Sister have a heart-to-heart conversation about Shiki and his grandfather. Now there's a group meeting about finding the other shining stars, and also get some details about Hamura's backstory. And it turns out that her and Valkyrie were teacher and student. Valkyrie taught Hamura about sword fighting, and Hamura is willing to search for Valkyrie, who disappeared without a trace, and learned about Eden Zero from her teacher. Shiki and the others are willing to help Hamura find Valkyrie and also Hermit as planned. And then there is also this guy named Mascal, who turns out to be Sister's minion and also the ship's caretaker. You know what I noticed about this guy is the button on his belly saying "Don't push." Got me curious on what that button does, and I can only think of one thing. Yeah, I can see why Sister is stopping him for pushing that button. For all we know, that could be the outcome and results. The next page shows a group of spaceships, and we get Justice and his crew researching the corona phase. And they discover that the creature only took away 1,200 years of the colonized planet, and thanks to its after effect, it freed a man called Drake and Joe, who is the antagonist of the show. Okay, maybe he's just the antagonist of this arc and not the main villain of the series, but I don't want to spoil too much, so on with chapter 29. It starts out showing the ship flying, the girls and Happy having a nice relaxing bath, and Hamura's not thrilled with the bathwater as she claims that it's too hot. Okay. She also noticed Rebecca's arm is having markings of ether gear, but Rebecca claimed that it's not ether gear. Oh, it's ether gear alright, just wait for the results, honey. They talk about what Rebecca can do with her ether gear, and she wishes she could be a sharpshooter as she can fight with guns. She shows Hamura the guns that Happy transformed into, and the swordswoman mistook that sand as a challenge. But of course, Rebecca turned down her challenge as the next panel shows the Vault 3173, and then there's a conversation between Witch and Sister about their past life. Then there is Shiki giving back Rebecca her B-Cube video recorder that he found in a tower on the planet Glows. God, I'm tired of saying that name. Now in these few panels, it's just jibber jabber, and honestly, I really don't care because it just seems like pointless. And does this look like Lucy to you guys? I know it's Rebecca, but it's just one panel, so I'll let it slide. Rebecca gets a call from Clarice, and she is happy that she's still alive. And Rebecca plans on coming back to Blue Guardian, but Clarice told her that it wouldn't be a good idea and should stay away for a while. As it turns out that Rebecca has gotten famous and everyone's going a bit crazy. Happy checked their channel and they're getting 1,000 of viewers, but with bad ratings. So what? Rebecca and Happy are just proud to have so many viewers. And Clarice signs off, then the crew stumble upon 12 guardians of the Blue Garden called the Heavenly Knights of the Dancing Sakura, and also manage to find one of the Shining Stars, Hermit. The crew are thrilled to find the third shining star, but then Sister noticed that something was wrong with her, and it discovered that her heart has been damaged, and Shiki's brilliant idea is to go inside Hermit and fix her heart. The others seem to have a disagreement with this plan, but why? She's a robot. They can't just open her up and somehow fix the heart, and it turns out that they can by using a system called the dive mode. So it's decided that they must travel to a planet called Digilis, but they can only get there by... Okay, they're going SAO on me, aren't they? Well, I guess so, because they're diving in a digital world with the characters as avatars. And I like this foreshadowing with Rebecca as a cat. The reason I say foreshadowing is because I've seen throughout the series that she is either wearing cat ears or an outfit. It results in, well... If you're one of those people who caught up with the recent chapters, then you would know what I'm implying to. And those of you who don't, then I'm done spoiling. The others have arrived with their different forms. Hamura is a guy with glasses, Waze is a chick, Hino as a human girl, and Shiki... What the hell? No, Shiki! Bad boy! I know you're strong, but that's taking it too far! Even the crew agrees with me, and tell him to choose a different avatar. Thank God he does get a new one, and he goes with a look that's a little bit more homebound, as it reminds him of his home planet. Aw, poor Shiki is crying. I think it's adorable. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this chapter started out with Ziamani explaining everything that happened, and also a hint on what's to come next. Now back to the crew. Rebecca explained that this world is a game, but it has a more realistic tone to it. She also tells them about using their real world powers, like Shiki and Hamura can use their ether gears. But Waze and Pino can't use their powers because their ether gears can accidentally rewrite the planet's data. So I guess they're kinda useless. And also, if they break the rules, they will be banned from the game. I don't know about you guys, but I am kind of getting bored of this page, so moving along. So Shiki and others find a town, and the people living there are NPCs, non-player characters, and so the group asks around the town to find Hermit. Hino had heard that she's been seen in a town to the north, and so Shiki decided that they should rest and come back tomorrow heading in that direction. While that is going on, an NPC is being attacked by this guy looking for a woman and calls himself a chosen player, and the chapter ends there. The last chapter is Rebecca and the others waking up in the same bed for some reason, and then there's Witch wondering what happened to Hermit, and Sister notices that the ship has been hacked. Witch and Sister are looking to find the source of the problem. While that's going on, the others are heading north in search for Hermit, but run into an unnecessary situation as this guy is mistaken for a monster. And honestly, who can blame them? He is created to be a boss of the game, but he's more of a good guy. But the real monster is a guy named Jubilee, a mass murderer. The crew heard from the monstrous good guy where Hermit is located and willing to get their crew member back. They arrive in the town only to witness the NPC being murdered by the culprit, and this chapter gets a little brutal. Holy sh! I know they're just computers, but damn! This murderer is Jubilee, and he mentions Drake and Joe. You know that guy that Justice and his other members mentioned? Yeah, that guy. Explaining about him being one of the mightiest warriors in the cosmos. But Shiki does not really give a crap and ready to kick some ass. And then the chapter ends with Herman sitting on her spot telling Zeke that he is a liar and that humans have no heart. Okay, this is a nice way to end the volume, but I will say that this volume started out fun and exciting, but then towards the ending, it just seemed to dim down and it just got boring for me. And I know the crew was just there to search for a friend, but with the villain being absolutely boring, the fight can be a little entertaining, but nothing groundbreaking. And the reason I know is because I read all of Eden Zero's chapters all the way up to the recent one. I know the outcome of each volume, but I do make it sound like I'm reading it for the first time. Well, that is because I'm trying not to spoil too much, even though I might have done that already. But I will do my best to give you guys a good review, even with the arcs I don't like. Well then, YouTubers and subscribers, thank you for watching this review, and don't forget to subscribe and comment down below. RoseRed17 out.